The least of your bullshit I hear, the better.
You know,
that's how I feel.
Dan, I got a couple questions for you.
Sweet.
Why don't you put your headphones on?
No.
I want to talk to you. I want to whisper in your ear.
No, I can tell already that they're way too loud.
Okay. Well, I'm going to keep mine on. So, who, you're a good-looking guy. Who shops for you? Like, do you pick your own clothes out, or do you have somebody that does it for you?
I wear jeans and T-shirts every day. Most of the T-shirts I wear are from the company.
No.
This hoodie.
No, you look good. Do we have any photos that we could pull up of Dan? Like, he comes in here looking good, you want
to go to my Instagram?
Do y'all agree? Can we go to his Instagram? Like, I want to show you. Like, you're kind of like GQ.
I don't think so.
Oh, bro.
I feel like I dress like a hobo all the time.
No, you don't. No. Like.
Yeah, there I am in literally the same thing I'm wearing right now.
Nope, that doesn't count.
No.
That doesn't count.
Nope,
go down. I'm going to start calling you out when you come in.
No,
that doesn't. Quit clicking on the video. Like, come on.
That's a Grinch costume and a gun.
Who dressed you that day?
That was me.
Okay, go down. Quit being.
Well, Sons of Liberty Gunworks.
Quit being dumb. Going down.
There's another one of me.
No, going down. Like, hold on. Where's he at? Let me find.
Right there in the middle, you see two pictures of me wearing both.
You dress up. I don't want to hear. I don't want to fucking hear it. Right.
There's me on television.
Right. No, keep going. No, look. Let's look at that picture of Brittany. Right there.
I'm wearing a white T-shirt and jeans, bro.
Yeah, but that doesn't count. I gotta find a good picture. Hold on.
There aren't any.
Yes, there are. You're like fucking GQ.
We're like a year into my Instagram.
Every time I look at you,
Stupid
you're
fuck.
kind of like GQ. Hold on.
You have no idea what's going on.
Wait, shut up, Dan. This is why.
Do you even know where you are right now? You're like Joe Biden.
What? Did you call me Joe Biden?
Hey, here's the deal. Let's go to war with Russia. This is this whole Russia thing is pretty interesting, isn't it? Yeah. All of a sudden, Democrats in the House and Senate are lining up to shake the hand of Dick Cheney, and they want to fucking go to war with Russia over a border dispute between Russia and Ukraine. Like, I don't care about any of that. Why would we go to war with Russia over a border dispute? Like, Ukraine has tried to get into NATO, I think, or express some interest in getting into NATO, and NATO was like, no, we're good.
All right, I'm going to have to find some more pictures.
We're good.
Anyways, I'm going to get some pictures, and I'm going to prove to you guys. But anyways, I just went and I had to go, I just got done shopping.
You got a theory with no evidence, and now you're going to fucking play it off like you've said something, and you said nothing, Dakota.
I don't, fucker. I have evidence. Anyways.
Yeah, he's looking at pictures right now that he just took when I wasn't paying attention.
Anyways. So, listen.
That's creepy as shit.
I think I'm going to hire. You do it all the time. So, I think I'm going to hire somebody to shop for me. To dress me.
Personal shopper, yeah.
I think I just need somebody to dress me.
Yeah. And
how much do you think that cost?
Not as much as you would think.
No?
No.
Like
personal shoppers and...
I just need somebody to dress me.
Yeah, I mean, basically it's just fucking people who have no other talent other than how to look good, which is, I mean, I suppose a talent in a way. But, hey, it worked out for them, right? They're getting paid to do nothing. They're getting paid to shop, which is something they enjoy doing. You are getting the benefit of their shopping prowess, and you're paying for a service. I mean, it seems like you're stimulating the economy if you do that.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it. Same thing with interior design. Like, I can't... When I lived alone, there weren't. I at no point ever did I have something hanging on the wall except for one of those wood signs from Target that you could put plastic letters on and it just said "Get fucked."
Yeah,
that's the only thing that was ever on any of my walls. The entire decade I lived alone.
Do you label your all your drawers?
Label them? What do you mean label
them? Silverware. You know what I mean?
Do you have Alzheimer's or something? Why are you labeling your drawers?
I just asked.
No, you're
asking for a friend.
You're asking because you've done it and now you want to know if it's normal. It's not. That's not normal.
So, anyways, what do you think it cost me to find somebody to dress? I need somebody to dress me.
Well, let's look it up. I mean, you could just get a drinking bro.
It's like $120 to $200 an hour.
Yeah.
Like if you
it's probably like a 4 or 5 hour day of them.
Do you shop for your own clothes?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, but Brittany picks a lot of stuff out for me.
Okay, so there it is.
I'm a dude. I don't know what to fucking do.
Yeah. I just I go shopping, and if I do go shopping, which is like once every 2 to 3 years, I walk through I have to walk through there on FaceTime with somebody.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what anything goes. Like, white, black, and blue jeans. Pretty
Yeah.
safe, right? Like
Yeah.
you can get, as long as your shoe-shirt combination kind of reasonably matches, then you're good.
Like dressing up for me is like a clean T-shirt.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem working in this stupid fucking vet community business is I have 7,000 T-shirts
Yeah, me
and
too.
so many hats that I'll never wear them all.
Yeah.
It's I feel like when I go out to shop, I like buy jeans and shit for sure, buy shoes and stuff like that. But I'm looking at shirts. I'm like, I don't really need any of this. Like, I don't have any more room for shirts.
Yeah. And like, when would you wear it? Right?
I don't know. We're going out to see a comedy show tonight. I'm wearing this.
You're gonna wear that?
Yeah.
Like, what if you were going out to like a nice restaurant to eat? What would you wear?
White T-shirt
Yeah.
and the same jeans.
Would you wear a sports coat?
No.
don't wear
Sport
sports
coats
coat?
are dumb. I wear like what are those coats called that have no collar on them?
Collarless coat?
No, it's I don't know what they're called, but there's a name for it.
Okay. So
Yeah, I'll wear chinos and a fucking coat,
okay.
but nothing crazy. I mean, if I have to go somewhere where I need to be dressed up to fit in, then I'm probably not going there, to be honest.
Yeah. So, okay.
Bomber jacket, that's it. Yeah,
A bomber jacket?
yeah,
You wear a bomber jacket?
yeah. I got a couple of them.
Okay.
They're
So
really comfortable.
I think I'm just gonna hire somebody to dress.
Chris Dupe says, and I'm assuming it's Dupe because of the little tick mark on the end. Members only jacket. We should bring those back. Bob came into the office this morning wearing a fucking pea coat, like he's got Veritas tattooed down the fucking index finger of his right hand. Asshole.
That's how I dress.
Brothers, we shall be. For me and for thee. Fuck you.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Meatloaf.
Meatloaf had nothing to do with this.
Yeah, but we need to.
What about a
remember.
Drinking Bros members only jacket? That'd be fun, right?
Yeah.
Like get both of them though. One of them just like the fabric material, and then one is the shiny material.
Like where you can flip it inside out.
No.
I think I'm gonna start wearing. You know what I'd like to do?
Not a bad idea.
Is I would like to like take a pair of jeans. Tell me what you think. Take a pair of jeans. You remember like for basketball, like where they wear those like rip off pants, like they're buttoned up?
Yeah.
Do the same thing with some jeans. You know what I mean?
And what would be the purpose? Just in case you really have to quickly get out of a pair of jeans. And how many times has that happened in your life that didn't involve having to take a shit?
Well, I mean, just
And then I would ask,
if you
obviously,
get
how frequently are you taking emergency shits?
what if you get into an intense puzzle match? You know what I'm saying? Like where you're getting hot. Fucking gotta get those.
It is
pants
hard to
off.
concentrate when your legs are sweaty. I'll
Yeah.
give you that.
Yeah, so then you just rip
Yeah.
the fucking pants off.
That's a
and
good
then
point.
you could get busy on the
Drinking
puzzle.
Bros parachute pants like MC Hammer.
Yeah, I mean,
We actually, somebody fucking, Lauren, text Brittany and tell her to make Drinking Bros fucking members only jackets. She'll do it.
yeah. Okay. All right. Well, as Dan, you helped me none. You really helped me 0%.
Thank you.
But at least you did validate that I do need somebody to help me.
Well, you certainly aren't going to do it yourself.
Well, I don't know how.
Yeah, I don't either, so.
Yeah. So that's another reason why we're a great couple.
No. Nope.
Nope. Okay.
Anyways,
Let's do this.
we're going to talk congressional
Trading
trading today.
This is good.
Yeah, there's a
I've been doing some studying. I got some questions for you on this.
Okay.
I got some good questions, you know.
I may or may not have answers. I don't know yet, but
Well, I'm still going to ask.
we're going to talk about aggregate congressional activity, and then we'll speak about some specific folks as we get down the list here. This social media account called Unusual Whales, and it's I assume the phrase unusual whales is a reference to people who are like killing it in the stock market who
Yeah.
shouldn't be, right? Or at least that it raises some suspicion that they have. So it's a website that does deep market research to help expose stock market corruption. You may have seen them linked on by Sagar Yeti and a number of other accounts that don't give a fuck about partisan politics. They recently published a breakdown of congressional trading for 2021, which reinforces previous information about the shady stock market deals discussed on this podcast. So the report aims to summarize all political trading for the past year, and the results are unsurprising for anyone familiar with the relationship between politicians and Wall Street. Although the Stock Act, which we talked about on Drinking Bros yesterday, purportedly limits the ability of members of Congress to use insider knowledge to exploit the stock market, amendments to the legislation have essentially rendered it useless. So they passed the Stock Act, and then like 6 months later or something, they were like, oh, by the way, nope, we're not doing that. Nope.
Yeah, let's change it up.
Some politicians vocally expressed support for sectors they held securities in, such as senators holding cryptocurrencies while drafting regulations on cryptocurrencies. That is a very common thing. There's no process in there's no mechanics inside of the legislative process that would require or even allow someone to recuse themselves from a vote where they had personal financial dealings, right? Although I think that's probably not a great idea. It's probably a better idea that they not be allowed to put money in the stock market at all. But
well, let me ask you this. So, and maybe you can, maybe I'm just trying to break it down too simple for my simple mind.
Write it in crayons.
Yeah, well, I usually eat them before I can't get it out. What is the difference between Congress having stock and doing stock trading while they're in Congress versus
Pete Rose betting on baseball games that he's in?
Please tell me the difference.
Well, the difference is that Pete Rose was betting on himself to win.
I mean,
and Congress is betting on the economy to fail. Like they're shorting stock.
But they're also,
when Crenshaw was asked why he's like fucking 40% above the S&P average, he goes, "Oh, I just bought the dip." Like, no, you heard that. Yeah, you saw a meme on the internet that said buy the dip somewhere, and now you're just regurgitating because I can look at your stock portfolio. You didn't just buy the dip.
But my question is, but they still yes or no, Congress can still influence where these trades go.
Not only can they influence the stock price, but there's no legal recourse that anyone has.
So what's the difference in Pete Rose betting? I mean, at least Pete Rose bet on himself and he had to perform.
The difference is there's more integrity in baseball than Congress.
That's what I'm saying.
Which is funny because there isn't a whole lot of integrity in baseball.
Yeah.
There's more integrity in Integrity Farms.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Randy has more integrity. I was on Tucker Carlson last night talking about election integrity, and I was shooting the shit with the camera people beforehand, the people that run the studio. You've been there at PacSat or whatever the fuck it's called. And we were talking about South Park for some reason, and I meant to say integrity every time I said integrity while I was on the show. I really wanted to do it, and I fucking forgot. It went well, but goddamn, I'm so mad.
So I just want to know.
They have no integrity, bro. That's the fucking answer.
But again, and also
they think they're better than you. They're the aristocracy, and you're a fucking.
Speaking
pleb.
of Dan Crenshaw, like.
Wait, just careful because he may show up and yell at you. Well, no, I'm sorry. You're not a 10-year-old girl, so you're probably safe.
So is there do we have that video of where he's yelling at this 10-year-old girl?
We played it like 3 times
you have?
this week. Yeah. Jesus Christ, dude. Of all, like that conversation.
Don't question my religion.
That conversation goes like this. I really appreciate that you're so young and you're getting involved in the political process. Maybe I misspoke, maybe you misinterpreted. Here's what I meant when I said that.
Yeah.
The end of the conversation. And it's right there. That's the end of the conversation.
Dude.
And he probably gets some applause for clarifying if that is indeed his point. Instead, he's like, fuck you, bitch. Fuck you. Jesus. Like, what the fuck? Why did he rage out on a 10-year-old? I think he's collapsing under the pressure.
Oh, I do too.
Don't question my integrity. Oh, dude. Can we get a fucking don't question my integrity?
Where you push the button? The button? Can we do that? Giorgio.
We're definitely making a don't question my integrity.
Hello, guys back there.
I will put a integrity button.
Yeah.
On
we need a integrity button.
But is there any way we could get the button up here for me and Dan?
Yeah,
we can fucking push it against each other?
We'll get one made. Adam Heckman says Trey Parker and Matt Stone should make the Insurrection Day movie. You're absolutely right about that. If Matt Stone and Trey Parker made J6, it would be the funniest goddamn thing that's ever happened.
I know you were real happy about the other day when he tweeted when he not tweeted, but when he he put a post out supporting Liz Cheney.
Yeah.
I knew you were really big on that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like we said before, all the Democrats have lined up to shake the hands of the Cheneys now. And they're also out on the stump talking about how dangerous Russia is and how we need to go to war to stop a border dispute between Russia and Ukraine. Like, no, we're good, bro.
Yeah.
Let's focus on China, our real enemy, and not Russia, who's just like a little midget guy in the
Let's
background.
do a show
talking
next
shit.
week talking about what's really going on between them. Let's
Yeah, we could do
finish
that,
this.
yeah.
Let's finish this.
So, this is just this top part is just a summary of what all unusual whales found. Another thing you found, or she, I have no idea if it's a man or a woman actually, or if it's a team of people. I would assume it's probably a team. Legislative events were often preceded by politicians trading in the sectors affected, resulting in millions of dollars in earnings. That includes stock dumps before the COVID lockdowns. It includes people like Crenshaw, for example, buying a bunch of stock in companies like 3M that make masks right before, right? So that, like, you think about that. I'm a member of Congress, and these classified reports or committee assignments that I'm on, and I glean information like it looks like we're going to have to use the Defense Production Act to get a bunch of masks made. So it's like, oh, okay, a bunch of masks are going to get made. I should go invest money in a company that makes masks. That's a normal fucking thought process to have, except for, no, you're profiting off information that you got in public service.
Yeah.
That is, you should be booted immediately for that.
So I just think that it's one or the other, right? Like either you let them trade stocks and you don't give them a retirement.
No, I don't think you can even you can't allow them to do that. No. And they shouldn't.
Shouldn't want to do
why
it.
in the fuck would you have a retirement plan for members of Congress in the first place? It was never meant to be a full-time fucking lifelong job.
Yeah, they do.
Fuck that shit.
They do.
That is, if I was president today, the CIA, gone. ATF, gone. Department of Education, gone. So fucking fast. Congressional fucking salaries, way the fuck down to like 65. It would be whatever the average or the median middle class income salary was, so like 65,000 a year. Not 40. 48's the median, but for middle class is 65. I'd make it that. And then no retirement. You don't get fucking paid retirement, term limits, so on and so forth. This system is just nonsense that we're in right now. So let's get into some of the specific stuff.
Hey, let's do it.
Elected officials. This is just in 2021. Elected officials have exchanged hundreds of millions of dollars in the stock market. Congress bought and sold $300 million in equities through the year. More than 3,500 transactions by 105 members of Congress. They've also traded $140 million in options contracts, like what Pelosi's husband just did. $124 million in other securities, such as private equity funds, and only $500,000 in cryptocurrency, but that's because they're all octogenarians, and they don't understand what crypto is. So you're looking at over $500 million traded by 500 people in Congress. Oh, just in 1 year. Just in 1 year. And these people stay in office for fucking decades.
Yeah.
Compared to 2020, the total amount of options traded increased fivefold in 2021. Now, this is something we've heard about a lot. A lot of people's businesses got shut down. A lot of people went into the fucking poorhouse because the business that they work for got shut down and they couldn't maintain their employment while the top earners in the country and the top businesses in the country all had record profits.
So here's what
Congress was no different. They made record profits as well.
Here's two things I'd like to know. One, what did Trump stocks do while he was in?
It's a good question. I mean, he had to.
And then second,
he didn't get the residuals. Like, he couldn't get paid residuals from The Apprentice, which is a fuckload of money.
Yeah.
And he had to divest from some of his stuff, but I'm sure he did fine.
And then second, my second question would be is how many out of all of Congress, how many of them lost money?
I would like to know how many either lost money or didn't have any money in something that wasn't a blind trust.
Yeah.
So at least I can know who to talk. You and I talk about this all the time. We try to find good shit to talk about because we just don't want to fucking bang the drum all the time.
Yeah. We don't want to turn into everybody else.
But it's fucking tough,
It's
to
tough.
be honest,
Dude,
to
it's-
find anybody that's above board.
Yeah. Yeah.
So 2021 was a fivefold increase in congressional stock trading over 2020. Former Georgia Senators David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler account for about $200 million in stock transactions in 2020. Wow. That's a lot. If transactions by Purdue and Loeffler are excluded, stock trading in 2020 and 2021 are comparable. So just those two people, Purdue and Loeffler, are assholes. All right, so total amount of assets.
200 million.
Yeah.
Two people.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, by the way, that's just the individual. That's not including the shit that Pelosi's husband did, right? Because he just did like a fucking $100 million option not too long ago.
Fuck Pelosi.
Yeah. Total amounts of assets traded. It's a fucking lot. So stocks over the course of 2020 and 2021, about $850 million worth of stocks.
There's something interesting about Kelly Loeffler, if you didn't know, by the way.
What's that?
Something interesting about Kelly Loeffler, if you didn't know. Her husband is chairman of the New York Stock Exchange.
Jesus Christ. So she's sucking money right out of the hose, buddy. Good Lord.
Oh, man. You know what? Hey, I'll tell you this. You talk about strategic.
Yeah.
If you're...
I'm sure that's a marriage of love.
Yeah.
Let's see. Government securities and agency debt, about $100 million over the 2 years. Congress bought or sold about $230 million in other securities, about $170 million in options, and that's not including the options that fucking Pelosi's husband dragged in. Unbelievable. This shit is it's fucking wild, man. The amount of money we're talking about here.
That is nuts.
And we know that just in 2021, I think the last report I saw was that Fauci made $1.7 million.
I wonder how.
Stocks.
I know. Yeah. I wonder what
his base salary in the government is like $400,000 or something like that. It's a little less than that, and then he gets some perks.
That's more than the president.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I don't think the president should even get paid.
You don't think he should get paid?
No. Or she.
You don't think the president should get paid?
No, why would they?
Well, I mean,
it's a fucking public service.
Should firefighters get paid?
I think no. No, definitely not you. I think we should take people who get court-ordered community service and make them our politicians. What do you think? It goes along with Rob's idea. He wants to. His plan to stop bank robberies is to give the mentally ill guns, right, and just let them be security at the banks because he said that because the Department of Transportation now wants to make 18 and 19-year-olds truck drivers to make up for the truck driver shortage when that is the demographic that has the most accidents of any fucking demographic. Oh, my God. We're the dumbest motherfuckers of all time.
We're so stupid.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, man.
All right, so total value of stocks traded in 21. The total value of stocks traded in 2021 were almost identical in the House, with Democrats selling slightly more than Republicans. I just want to make that point because it is not in any way
one
a
side or the
partisan
other.
issue. No, they are all
They're
cunts.
all fucked.
So senators sold nearly 3 times more stock than they purchased. 146 million in stock sold by the House, 143 million sold or purchased by the House, and then in the Senate, 16.36 million in stocks purchased, 6 million sold. Senate Republicans made major purchases of stock at the beginning of the year, which coincides with the beginning of Biden's term. August was the biggest month for House Democrat stock purchases, primarily due to large purchases of Microsoft stock disclosed by Representative Susan Delbeni. I don't know what that word is. Whose husband is a top Microsoft executive. So one of the top Microsoft executives has a wife who's a fucking congressperson. That's dope. September and October saw huge stock sales in Congress, the majority of which can again be attributed to Susan Delbeni selling up to 25 million in Microsoft stock in both months. So 50 million total. Nice. In November, Senator Bill Hagerty sold up to 5 million in stock for the tech company Datadog, and Senator John Hickenlooper, I believe he's from Is he from Wisconsin or where he's from? Or maybe Arizona. Sold millions. Or no, is he Colorado? Where's Hickenlooper? I know that name.
He is Colorado.
Colorado, yeah. He sold millions of dollars worth of tech stocks in PayPal, NVIDIA, who make graphics cards, Microsoft, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, and Google. Damn, he's just in bed with every devil you can be in bed with. God damn. Jesus Christ. There's like antitrust suits against Apple, Google, and Microsoft going on right now. And this motherfucker is trading in all of those stocks.
Yeah, and we wonder why we can't get this issue fixed.
Jesus Christ. Senator Tommy Tuberville bought up $1.84 million in non-energy mineral stocks and other infrastructure-related stock right before Biden signed the big infrastructure bill. Whoops.
What?
If he's making money, you know it's corrupt because that dude's a fucking moron.
Yeah, for sure. It would be like if
if
Louis Gohmert was all of a sudden destroying the stock market, everybody would be like, I don't think so. This guy can't find the doorknob to let himself out of the house every morning. He's definitely not beating the S&P average.
Man.
Yeah, so if you look at these charts, Democrats, Republicans, it comes out to about the same.
I don't know, the House in August.
Well, the House has 300 more people than the Senate does.
In August, the House.
The House Democrats, yeah. But in July, House Republicans. And then March also, 1.25 million there. But 30 million is a lot. So let's see. Biggest returns. On average, House Democrats and Republicans had returns at plus 14.7%. So what's Delco? A really good gambler comes in somewhere around 56% accurate.
Yeah, anywhere
right?
between 55 and 60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like this though. I mean, that's 65%. That's 60. If you're plus 14.7, that's 65% accurate on your fucking deals, basically. Interesting. Senate Democrats were at plus 15.4, 65% accurate, and Republicans were just under 13, so they were more like, yeah. So Independent Senator Angus King, who I thought was the guitarist for fucking AC/DC, but I guess not, made 2 trades resulting in a plus 16.5% return rate. When compared to the same transaction period, an estimated S&P average returns, S&P returns were found to only be about plus 13.6, meaning that on average, Congress beat the market in 2021. Congress as a whole beat the market in 2021. 35 members of Congress beat the S&P average, while only 3 hedge funds in the entire world did. So the people who do this professionally, the people who do this, like hedge funds who manage billions, sometimes if it's BlackRock, trillions in assets, 3 of them beat the S&P average.
Yeah.
While 35 individual members of Congress did. That seems likely. Representative Austin Scott had the biggest returns with a bet on Fuel Cell Energy, Inc., which is a great thing to, like Fuel Cell is a really good thing to fucking invest your money in. Other than crypto tech and blockchain tech, storage of energy is going to be one of the next big fucking things in America. Representative Brian Mast sold Tilray while it was at an all-time high last year. Representative Thomas Suozzi made a large profit on United Rentals stock after buying shares at their lowest price in 5 years following the 2020 stock market crash. Man. United Rentals also made a lot of money.
With generators
And construction stuff that's happened over the last 2 years, too, during the pandemic.
And it's getting ready to get even bigger because they've got this infrastructure bill is going to be huge.
Returns in the Senate were smaller than those of the House, with the top trades being attributed to Senator Tuberville and his Alcoa Core sales in late 2021 during negotiations for Biden's infrastructure bill. Coming in second was Senator Pat Toomey's post-split Tesla purchase and sale in early 2021. So if you're talking about these purchases, so with the fuel cell thing, Austin Scott sold his he made 2 separate purchases of fuel cell and sold them at a 780% return and a 571% return,
Dude.
respectively.
How do I get in on that?
Yeah. Somebody talked about the possibility of fucking. Do you remember that movie Pi with Darren Aronofsky, where it's like all in black and white, and this dude is trying to write an algorithm to beat the stock market, basically.
Dakota's definitely seen that movie.
Yeah, he hasn't. It was right before Requiem for a Dream, right? Like 2 years before that or something. Same guy that did it. But if you could just write an algorithm that matched Nancy Pelosi and her husband's trades, trade for trade, you'd be rich.
Yeah.
Like in no time, too, right? But if you're not going to be rich in no time, you're probably out there looking for some good deals. And you're not going to get a better deal than motherfuckingghostbed.com/drinking bros.
Yeah.
You stupid bitches.
Stupid.
How have you not bought a ghost bed yet?
Yeah. Well.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? They're the best goddamn beds in the world. And if anybody says anything differently, I'll stab them.
Show up here.
Yeah. Show up here and run your fucking mouth.
Say it on the show. Come in here and tell us. Anybody in here want to say that Ghost Bed's not the best fucking bed in the world?
We'll make a list of all your names, and then we'll do what Jay and Silent Bob did and strike back. After the fucking movie's over, we'll use all the money we made, and we'll come to your fucking house and beat the shit out of you. Like, we'll have your Twitter, your tweet printed out on a piece of paper. Like, are you ass rammer 69? Did you say that somebody's better than Ghost Bed? Throw it in their face and just punch them as hard as you can for the rest of their life, which wouldn't be long.
I don't think. I think that's illegal. So I'm out on that.
Well, let's not do that then. Let's just try to convince people to buy the beds.
What I'll say as a doctor, I prescribe this to everybody. Whatever's wrong with you, this fixes it. You know, you don't want to worry about corona.
Yeah, if you got AIDS,
get a ghost
bed.
Yep. I mean, that's what I say. Everything. There's not one problem that you can throw at me that a ghost bed won't fix.
No, I was
20-year warranty.
Yeah, and one of our fans was talking shit to him in I think it was a Facebook post, and they were like, "Hey, I heard you guys might be making dog beds. What's up?" And they're like, "No, but we should look into it." And I'm like, "Yeah, you should." Fucking ghost dog beds.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah. So ghost beds at 101 nights. Return it, no questions asked. They've got pay-as-you-go financing. They have their sheets and their pillowcases have the cooling technology. So if you're a fat guy like me, you get hot. You know, you got that cooling technology. Just really badass. And Ghost Bed is a badass bed. Like, I love it because me and Dan, we both have, together we have one king size bed, and Dan can jump on one side of it and it doesn't fuck up my puzzle on the other side of it. And I love it for that. Just really, and
it's really important. Yeah,
they have the mattress protector.
Yep.
So like if you're in there and you spill your milk, late at night, you spill milk on it because you're doing a puzzle, and it doesn't get on there and it doesn't tear up the ghost bed.
You shouldn't be drinking milk in bed.
Why?
Because that's weird. Unless you're drinking the milk left over from the cereal you just ate because you got super high and ate cereal in bed. That's acceptable.
You eat cereal?
For a snack at night, yeah. It's fucking delicious.
Dude,
you
I don't
kidding
think
me?
I've ate cereal since I was like 8.
Why? Can you guys weigh in on this? Bob, when's the last time you ate cereal?
I've recently.
Like within the last 6-7 hours, probably, right?
Also, what the fuck, dude? You have kids. Like, how are you not eating cereal all the time? I walk down the cereal aisle now, and I'm like, fuck.
Dude,
like, I wish I was a child today.
Yeah.
I don't feed my kids cereal.
No, horse meat.
They don't eat cereal.
Delco.
Delco, do you eat cereal?
Yeah, but I eat like some really like not tasty cereal.
What is it? Like grape nuts or some shit?
It's called Ezekiel. It's like
Okay, there's only one person I care about around here, and that's Jack.
Yeah.
You know, if you guys didn't know,
where'd Jack go?
Jack is here. And Jack, do you eat cereal?
It's not hit.
Jack's eating cereal right
Do
now.
you eat cereal?
When's the last time you ate cereal?
Sunday night before I left.
What kind of cereal was it?
Apple Jacks.
Apple Jacks are delicious.
Apple Jacks?
Do you drink the milk after you fucking eat the cereal?
Typically, if there's milk left, I put another round of cereal into there, and then there'll be minimal milk, and yeah, I'll give a lick down to the rest.
I'm visualizing that right now.
Does Taco
cat.
eat? Does Taco eat cereal?
No, I only give him dog food and chocolate.
Is that milk chocolate or cacao, like full on?
Just full on, like straight up Bavarian chocolate. It's where I hide his pain medicine. He keeps getting sick. I don't know why. I keep giving him chocolate and he keeps getting sick.
Yeah, you may want to call the hospital and have yourself admitted. Because
Well, I don't eat cereal, guys.
either way, cereal's delicious. Eat it in your ghost bed.
Yeah.
Back to the show. So here are some of the popular
You can
sectors.
go get a ghost bed at ghostbed.com/drinking bros.
That's right, yeah. Here are some of the popular sectors that Congress enjoyed putting their money in. Senate Republicans traded miscellaneous stocks and finance stocks more than Senate Democrats. I don't know what miscellaneous stocks really means. Senate Democrats sold off larger quantities of tech, such as Apple, NVIDIA, KLL Corp, et cetera. Overall, the House spent far more on stocks. Obviously, there's 300 more of them, 350 more of them, purchasing over $140 million worth of stocks across all sectors. And again, that's not including securities and other shit, because if you include all that, it's more like $500 million.
Yeah.
The Senate, on the other hand, spent just over $6 million purchasing stocks. In 2021, they purchased 900,000 in finance stocks and over 800,000 in miscellaneous stocks between parties. I would like to just remind everybody this doesn't include their fucking family members.
So again, I want to know. Yeah, can you imagine if they're doing this much themselves? What they're doing, they're having their family members do. My other question to you is this: I would like to know what stocks they all have, so you can see which committees they sit in on, and see if it directly who it directly correlates for.
I think even if they're in a blind trust, the information from that blind trust should be made public at the end of every year.
100%.
Yeah. Like these people should have no privacy when it comes to where their money goes.
No.
Non-energy mineral purchases made by the Senate surpassed all other sectors. So they're primarily spending their money in rare earth mineral mining, because that's pretty much what that is here in the United States.
Yeah.
Non-energy minerals were followed by finance, miscellaneous, and tech stocks, with Republicans making the vast majority of those purchases. House Republicans preferred industrial service stocks related to oil and gas. Imagine that. While House Democrats followed their Senate colleagues and focused on tech. Technology surpassed all other stocks in both the House and Senate by a wide margin totaling nearly $50 million. In terms of stock sales, tech services outclassed all other sectors in both the House and Senate. The House sold $61.9 million in tech stocks, while the vast majority of the sales were made by House Democrats. The Senate sold $7.28 million in tech stocks. This time, the Republicans were the primary sellers. Second place in stock sales differ between the House and Senate, and the primary sellers also vary. So in the House, the second most sold stock were industrial services, the sellers being almost entirely Republicans. Industrial services might include something like 3M making N95 masks, for example.
So is it illegal? So let me ask you this: is it illegal? Okay, so let's say I'm or whatever, I'm in the House or whatever. I'm just a congressman, and I sit in one of these committees that I have back information, that I have insider information, right? If I go and tell anybody, is that illegal?
No.
Because it's illegal if
It would be illegal if you did it, but not if they do it.
That's my point. Like, how crazy is that?
Well, so the Stock Act made it illegal, and then they passed an amendment to the Stock Act where the houses of Congress, the House and Senate, are the ones who adjudicate the legality. So they police themselves on it, and they just never do it.
How crazy is that?
Because it's pretty wild.
Like
It's wild that they would fucking pass the bill to restrain themselves and then immediately pass the bill to say, hey, we got this, guys. We'll cover it. You don't have to worry about us. Yeah, it's fucked. And no, it's not illegal at all.
So, but it's illegal if I did it.
Correct, yeah.
So I would go to fucking jail. People do this all the time.
You would go to jail and they would fine you for the amount plus, right?
Yeah.
So you would be in debt probably bankrupt for the rest of your life, right?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? You're not part of the fucking aristocracy, buddy. In the Senate, electronic technology took second place in sales, this time with Democrats being the best sellers, and the remaining stock sales are mostly evenly distributed around all the other sectors in both the House and Senate, aside from a couple of minor spikes seen in distribution services and miscellaneous stuff. So if you're wondering how any of this happened or why it's still legal after we've exposed so many of these people, it's because every single one of these motherfuckers is doing it.
Yeah.
Like the
Every
Republicans
one.
and Democrats aren't fighting with each other over money. They're fighting to keep this shit secret so they can keep doing it and keep you fucking poor while they get rich.
The Republicans don't want this coronavirus shit to end any more than the Democrats, because guess what they're all fucking doing right now?
Gaining money and
Gaining
power.
fucking money and power. You know, it's both sides.
Yeah, for sure. So the total value of stocks traded by Congress, a little over half Democrat for sold in the House, and about half Republican, half Democrat in the House for purchased. Total sold and purchased about $290 million. Dope. So let's talk about the chart that you've all seen us show here and on Drigger Bros as well, which is these 35 geniuses in Congress that quote unquote beat the market.
And obviously, it makes more sense for there to be way more money traded in the House and the Senate because
there's more people.
Fucking people.
Yeah, but also, I just want to remind the audience that count them, 1, 2, 3 major hedge funds globally beat the S&P average this year.
And how many is there? Like, do we know how many there are?
There's thousands.
Yeah.
And 35 fucking politicians.
Can we? Hey, can we look it up? How many like total hedge funds there are? Just to put that in perspective, right?
3,841.
And 3 beat it.
And 3 beat it. So 1,000th, actually about 0.8 thousandth of a percent.
Dude.
But 35 fucking Congress people do. So,
and I wonder if of those three,
like 35 or 35.
Well, and I wonder if of those 3, this will be interesting.
So 6.5% of our politicians beat it.
Can we figure out? I wonder if of those
Jesus
3,
Christ.
of those 3 that beat it, I wonder if any of them have any wives or husbands that are.
Yeah, I'm sure it's way worse.
Congress.
It's always way worse than it ever appears. You're a firefighter. You know what it's like. If you see something that looks bad, it's way worse once you get inside. So the ones that beat the market, 16 Republicans and 19 Democrats in 2021, with 7 out of the top 10 earners being Republican. The top 10 members of Congress that succeeded in beating the market in 2021 in order are the following. Austin Scott, Republican. Brian Mast, Republican. French Hill, Republican. John Curtis, Republican. Dan Crenshaw, Republican. Nancy Pelosi, everybody knows her fucking party. Dan Reuser, Republican. David McKinley, Republican. Peter Welch and Debbie Dingell, which is an unfortunate name, Democrats. It's interesting that Crenshaw and Pelosi were almost tied. I mean, I would love to see an overlap of their respective investments.
Yeah.
To see how close they were. It's like you see a relatively young politician and then a very old politician, old both in years and in experience, and they get the same outcome.
You know what?
It's like sitting next to the Asian kid in math class.
You know what Congress is kind of reminding me of?
A circus?
No, even better. It's kind of like the old WWE, right? So like Biden is kind of like Vince McMahon. And like they're all come out, they hate each other, they build these to the media, they build all this shit, but really they're just friends and they're just all fucking acting to the public.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. This is all a game. Here's some sketchy trades that happened. So when the data is aligned with events that took place throughout the last year, a number of conveniently timed trades were found to have been made by Congress, and this is, again, unusual whales figuring this out. So Brian Mast purchased Tilray stock right before he voted in support of the Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment and Expungement Act in late 2020. Tilray obviously grows weed. He subsequently sold the Tilray stock for a 563% return. Kevin Hearn, who sits on the House Committee on the Budget, bought Lockheed Martin stocks once in August. And then again, remember in August we gave the Taliban $80-some billion worth of equipment that we now have to replace. And then again in late October, just 2 weeks before Lockheed Martin won a $10.9 billion contract to modernize the Air Force's F-22s. Now, that would have been a vote that he would have taken part in. So he bought stock twice, August and October, then in November.
It's kind of like Pete Rose. I mean, he gambled
yeah.
on himself.
Then in November, he fucking voted for them to get a $10.9 billion contract. Kathy Manning, who sits on the House Committee on Foreign Affairs, also purchased stock in Lockheed Martin in October. Same deal, right before the contract was announced. Zoe Lofgren bought $15,000 in Lucid Group stocks, a company that creates electric vehicle technology, which is up 71%. She co-sponsored legislative proposals for electric vehicle tax credits. Oops.
Yeah. Oof.
Nancy Pelosi, shocking to hear her name on here, disclosed exercising 150 calls on Microsoft stock on March 19th of last year.
150. Yeah, that's crazy.
On March 31st, the U.S. Army announced a $22 billion augmented reality deal with Microsoft and reiterated its commitment to this partnership in October. Pelosi exercised the calls at a strike price of $130, which is now up by 160%. Senator Cynthia Lummis, which is really close to lupus, bought up $100,000 in Bitcoin in August while the Senate was actively drafting crypto regulations. Tommy Tuberville sold up to $15,000 in Microsoft stock in late June, just 2 weeks before the $10 billion Jedi contract with Microsoft was canceled. Tuberville sat on the Senate Armed Forces Committee, which had inside information on all defense contracts. Pat Fallon, who sits on the House Subcommittee responsible for reviewing DoD software contracts, also sold Microsoft stock right before the Jedi contract was canceled. Blake Moore disclosed buying up to $60,000 in Raytheon stock while sitting on the House Committee on Armed Services, which, by the way, Raytheon is a defense contractor. So this guy who votes on something before it can even get out of committee to the main body of the House is buying their stock.
Yeah.
Moore made these trades while sitting on the subcommittee, directly responsible for reviewing defense tech contracts. So definitely not a conflict of interest
No,
there.
definitely not at all.
And then we have some additional fuckery. Sketchy business and stock market dealings are not limited to the oligarchs in Congress. Family members of political officials and the untouchable Anthony Fauci have questionable portfolios as well. So Nancy Pelosi's son, Paul Pelosi Jr., was recently outed as being involved with 5 separate companies that were investigated by the federal government, connecting him to a multitude of fraudsters and convicted criminals. He's basically Hunter Biden with a better PR team.
Yeah.
Paul Jr. joined the board of a biofuel company found guilty of defrauding investors whose CEO was convicted of bribing officials in Georgia. He was also the president of an environmental investment firm that turned out to be a front for 2 convicted frauds. A company he served as vice president for was previously caught up in an investigation into scam calls specifically targeting senior citizens. So, I mean, I guess it's better, or selling art doesn't sound that bad anymore, does it? Like smoking crack, banging Russian whores, and selling art doesn't sound that bad after you look at Pelosi's son. While working for a medical company, the company was accused of testing drugs on people without FDA authorization, and Paul Jr. received $2.8 million in shares allegedly issued as part of a $164 million fraud in July of 2016. Another official obviously lining their pockets is this amoral cocksucker, Anthony I am the science Fauci. This guy is just an insipid little fucking turd.
Incredible.
According to his 2020 financial portfolio, Fauci reported $10.4 million in investments in the midst of the pandemic. So while he was shutting down your fucking business, right, and setting up scenarios where you couldn't work or you couldn't fucking start or run
Yeah.
your business and blah, blah, blah. This motherfucker was investing $10.4 million. Now, where? That's a good question. He was found to invest in companies in China through an investment fund named Matthews Pacific Tiger Fund, which sounds like a fucking shitty Chinese restaurant, to be honest. The Matthews Pacific Tiger Fund.
Tiger.
Fact sheet revealed the fund had invested 42.7% of its investors' money into companies in both China and Hong Kong. So the vast majority of his $10.4 million in investments were wrapped up in a place where nearly half of their investments are in China.
Dude, this next one's good.
Yeah. Among the companies listed, Wuxi Biologics Cayman, which I don't know why you add the word Cayman in there unless you're fucking using Cayman Islands as a tax shelter, but a pharmaceutical company headquartered in China. That's good. That our fucking NIH epidemiology director is investing in Chinese pharmaceutical companies.
Dude.
The fund's additional investments into China include Tencent Holdings Limited, Alibaba Group's Holding Limited, which is the Chinese Amazon, AIA Group Limited, and Hong Kong Exchanges and Clearing Limited. So Fauci has a literal vested interest in making sure that China dominates America.
But let's go a little bit further. Like when they didn't want to call it, say that the virus came from China. This is why.
Yeah. He didn't want their economy to take a hit.
Exactly.
Because that means his wallet would take a hit.
100%.
Yeah.
Like this is why. This is fucking why.
Outside of the Matthews Pacific Tiger Fund, Fauci's reported $10.4 million financial investment includes stakes at Atlas Large Cap Mutual Funds, PEMCO's Investment Grade Bond Fund, and the Pax Elevate Global Women's Leadership Fund. What the fuck is that? For those unaware, Fauci is the highest paid employee of the federal government who made more than $400,000 in 2020 and will receive a pension of $350,000 a year upon retirement. I hope he doesn't live to spend any of that money, to be honest. Maybe malaria or something. So in conclusion, this report from Unusual Whales, and he's still working on it, by the way, or that the team, maybe if that's what it is still working on diving deeper into this. They've been submitting FOIA requests and all kinds of shit, looking for fucking congressional stock trading records. And this dude should be put on suicide watch because Hillary Clinton's probably coming for him at some point. What?
I did a little digging on the top 3 hedge funds that beat the S&P plus, blah, blah, blah. Impala is one of them.
Okay.
Founded by, and I assume still run by, Bob Bishop, who is a former chief investment officer for George Soros. And
Jesus Christ.
also was the second largest donor to Trump's inaugural ball in 2016 or 17 or 2017.
Yeah.
Which, for that, Trump, I guess, removed the gift cap, the traditional gift cap.
Yeah. It's like $25,000, right?
It was 200, something like that. And anyway, you got access to cabinet members, senators, and stuff based on the size of your donation. And Bob Bishop was the second largest donor to that.
This God that I worship, this demon I blame, conspire as one. They're exactly the same. Remember that. It's a Lamb of God poem for you. None of these motherfuckers can be trusted. When I say all politicians are cunts, the word that stands out is cunts, but the word that really matters is all, right? You can't trust any of these bitches, ever. These politicians had access to confidential information gained through private meetings, classified meetings, and taking part in negotiations on committees in the House and Senate. And not only that, but they voted on them as well. They didn't just hear the information. They had the ability to vote and drive traffic in one direction or the other. Elected officials continue to profit from their insider knowledge, despite regulations put in place by the Stock Act.
So here's what I wonder. Is I wonder if there's a way to take each bill. Like, let's see where they're all vested. If they're voting, right? Like, let's all get some stock on this. Which way? Because they all know before they walk in how the vote's going to go.
Yeah.
I wonder how you could correlate that as to if they, you know what I mean? Like,
well, you could do it pretty easily by having members of Congress and the Senate who have balls.
oh yeah,
Like all these people that talk all this shit that sit on these committees, but they won't come out and fucking in the press and say, hey, this guy right here from this state did this. He voted this way, and here are his fucking stock portfolios. You make the connection because I don't need to. The only way that anything ever gets cleaned up is from the inside, or it gets torn down entirely, which is my preference for this.
Hell yeah.
Major beneficiaries such as Nancy Pelosi argue and continue to argue that since the U.S. has a free market, it is only fair that politicians be allowed to take part, even though they have access to information that gives them an unfair advantage. Now she says, I'm open to legislation to fucking clean up the act and blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, we've seen this before, right?
Yeah.
In 2013, you stupid bitch.
They're also for Obamacare.
Yeah. Although a number of sitting officials are blatantly abusing their privilege, only 1 in 4 members of Congress reported trades in 2021. So that's not that many.
Yeah, but
25%.
Let's talk about their families.
Yeah, that part you're not going to see. And that's the way that Bernie Sanders has made himself and his family rich. Is they raise a bunch of money and then you spend it on a media buy, right? So you spend it on a TV ad. When you do that, you go through a media buyer. You know who was a media buyer?
He is.
His fucking daughter.
Yeah.
Right? She gets 30% of all that money. And it's not Raytheon's money or Google's money or Apple's money. It's one of the 160,000 fucking individual donors' money.
Yeah.
Or however many he had, like maybe 2 million at the end. But in the beginning, he was talking about 160,000. So while it may seem to mean that only 1/4 of Congress are taking part in insider trading, many trades are reported. A lot of it is crypto. A lot of it is obfuscated because it's their direct family members, which we've caught people doing before relatively recently. There's 2 people being investigated for just that right now. In the end, as long as Congress are tasked with policing themselves, the system will continue unabated. You should not fucking expect anything to come from this. People are like, oh, what are we going to do? Nothing. You're going to keep fucking voting for these idiots and pretending like Republicans are better than Democrats or vice versa.
Yeah.
And you're going to keep fucking sucking your own dick and all this stuff.
Yeah, until you start seeing it for what it is, until you just stop. But it's easier just to say, oh, well, Republicans are better than Democrats, or it's all Democrats. It's easier to do that than to fucking really look into it and invest and do your own research. You know, it's just fucked, man.
Yeah, it's
They're
very
all
fucked. Very fucked.
How do these people sleep at night?
On their fucking $1 billion pillows, I guess.
I couldn't do it.
No.
Could you?
No, there's no amount of money that can buy my soul.
No. Right?
Not a
Like, there's
chance.
no fucking amount
And
of
it's
money.
interesting that people that have been, it's mostly officers that run for office, but people that have been willing to literally put their lives at risk for the people around them or their country or whatever it is, but they can't even they can't even tolerate being middle wage earners instead of being super rich. That doesn't make any sense to me.
But here's what I want to say, right? Like, and I think this is I'll start with the first example of Medal of Honor recipients. Like, just because you got a Medal of Honor, like they don't check your
There's no
level of
character
morals.
test,
There's no
yeah.
character test.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing with the military. There's no fucking character test. Just because you serve this country, I mean, you could have been a pipe hitting, killing motherfucker.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you're a good guy.
Yeah.
Or
No.
a good woman, right? So it's like, it's just crazy. Like, whenever I hear all these things, like, you got to support them. They serve their country. Well, fucking did they?
Yeah.
Did they? Let's hold on. Like, they might have joined the military, but just because they went over and served doesn't mean that they're going to come back over here and they're going to serve this country.
No, because what they're doing right now, what you're seeing from the members of Congress that are in office right now is basically equivalent to being in the middle of a supply line. Your troops are cut off and they need some shit, and you're fucking fucking the pile
You're
first.
rat fucking the pile?
You're rat fucking the pile first to make sure that you get yours before anybody else gets theirs, and that's you, Dan Crenshaw. Fuck you. We'll see you in